Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to the graduation of the great class of 2024. I'm Steve Sager and I'm director of Berkshire Waldorf High School. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for all the love and support you've given these young people and graduates over the years. Behind me, from your right to left, are Teresa O'Brien, our board chair, Beth Robbins, a member of our core faculty and today's speaker. Other members of our core faculty, Bob Ondenmatten, Genevieve Brossard, Ed Homelroth, Julia Nunez, Kendall Schaefer, and Samantha Steer. Jane Burke, Avia Stanton, and Casey Krachek send greetings and best wishes but couldn't be here today. Thanks to the First Congregational Church of Stockbridge for hosting us. Thanks to the class of 2025 parents and students for hosting the reception afterwards. Immediately after the ceremony, the graduates will form a receiving line out on the edge of the lawn, go through, shake their hands, break all the bones in their little hands. No, don't do that. And then go around to your right and into the room where there will be a reception. When the receiving line is finished, the graduates will meet you there. They will cut their graduation cake. In this case, it's plural, but they're only going to cut one to start. And then their obligations to our school are ended. I want to note one change to the program. You'll see the pianist listed as Crystal Junkins. Crystal, you probably noticed that you're not playing the piano. So thank you to Bonnie Nordoff, who stepped in because Crystal is the mother of one of today's graduates, and she can sit and just enjoy the ceremony, which is terrific. And then also not listed on your program, but I want to thank Joseph Jackson, cakes and treat. I have had his cakes in the past, and I don't know, maybe we'll just race through this so that we can get to the cake part. Please silence your devices. The class of 2024 with 15 students is the largest class to graduate from our school. At the start of the year, they weren't really together. They were in clusters here and there in the building and outside it. Kind of like competing schools in Greek philosophy, or like groupings in Raphael's painting, The School of Athens. Let me take you on a tour of an average morning. Some students could be found sitting on the railing behind the school, aiming just to get through the school day. J, Oscar, Michael. These are the Stoics. Some were sitting together in the big room, observing, chatting contemplatively. Ethan, Ella, Cecilia. These are the Aristotelians. Nearby, some were so ironic, I could almost hear their eyes rolling in their heads. The modern skeptics. Owen, Aiden, Johan. Behind them, at the round table in the big room, alone by choice, Haley, like Diogenes the Cynic. Out in the hallway at the top of the stairs, laughing and twined with friends from other classes, Iris and Anime, the hedonists. Others were joking amiably with younger students, opening a deck of cards or a fresh sandwich. In any case, they were appreciating life. Jaden, Oliver, the Epicureans. And observing them all as if from above, serenely, an idealist, Anasia, the Platonist. If you're keeping score, you may wonder, where are the Socratics? They're sitting here behind me. And who am I? I am a Pythagorean, of course. Anyway, through the trips and the events that punctuate the year, these groups of philosophers have grown slowly closer together. Orientation at Camp High Rock, sitting in perfect silence at night at the north end of Plantain Pond. Camping together on Hermit Island in Maine, a museum walk in New York City, living together to study astronomy in the Adirondacks, missing school for the unrecognized, illegal, and unethical, never-to-be-repeated event known, if we must speak of it at all, as Senior Skip Day, including going to breakfast, shopping at Marshall's, and a dip in the Green River. The crackling anxiety and wonderful presentations of Senior Recognition Night at the Mahawi Performing Arts Center on Thursday. And finally, yesterday, in Oscar's idyllic backyard. These students have not synthesized their views into one great and true overarching philosophy, but we didn't really expect that. They learned, however, to talk with one another, to be with one another, to accept one another. In a divided world, this growing together, this anastomosis, that's a vocabulary word from the last seminar in case you don't recall it, students. This growing together is one of the more valuable things you can do in the world. Class of 2024, as you have grown to appreciate each other in all of your differences, we appreciate you. As is customary at our school, we will hear from each of the graduates in alphabetical order, as listed in your program. I will then introduce today's speaker, Beth Robbins. Jaden Alston is our first speaker.
Dear Ms. Robbins, Mrs. O'Brien, Dr. Sagrin, teachers, trustees, parents, friends, and classmates. I stand in front of you now because, assuming this day goes as planned, I'll be graduating high school. I stand here conflicted, however, because as I look back at my high school career, I'm ready to move on. But I'm not fully at ease, as I doubt that this will come to full fruition. I personally am ready to have closure with this part of my life, but it is not a one-sided affair, and I hope that some of you are able to have closure as well. I've always been an inquisitive person, and this school has allowed me to further explore that both educationally and socially. As I end this era of life, I'm ready to confront my past and sit down with anyone and everyone and discuss why we made the choices we did. With that said, I'm thankful for every one of you here today. I'm thankful for the teachers that allowed me to grow. I'm thankful for the close friends that were there for me. I'm thankful to the schoolmates that I never saw eye to eye with. I can truly say, I'm thankful for the people that caused me stress, anxiety, anger, or sadness. I can truly say that I'm thankful to every one of you here today because it made me who I am and got me to my high school graduation and will get me beyond. Looking to the future, I'm enrolled at Babson College to study business. I'm excited for the future of my life as well as yours. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I've been at Waldorf for all 4 years of high school. I could say the past 4 years have been memorable, but to be honest, I don't remember much. I've met some of my closest friends while here. Oscar, I thank you for helping me total not one, but 3 cars. My Subaru, your Subaru, and my first car, the minivan. Owen, we've gotten close this year. The Adirondacks trip was a great one because of you. It's been fun jamming with you and Oscar's Mill as well. Oliver, thank you for introducing me to German clubs. I won't expand much on that. I'd like to thank the school for some of my favorite trips, the 9th and 10th grade camping trip, staying in the Berlin hostel during the German trip, and the best of all, the New York City trip for architecture in 12th grade. Now, looking forward to college, I'm ready to take English 4, German 4, and Math 1. I'd like to thank my mom for doing all my math homework, and my dad for doing all my English homework. Just joking, by the way. Lastly, I'd like to congratulate everybody, especially Michael, for graduating. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'd like to start my I'd like to start my speech by expressing my appreciation for the time I had at this school. It has truly changed me, and although I'm very excited for the next chapter, I will always remember this one. I was a homeschooler until 11th grade. I was nervous and unsure of what to expect at school. However, I was welcomed by my classmates and the faculty within a month and had settled in, and it has been like home ever since. This year as seniors, we had a couple of amazing trips to Hermit Island and the Adirondacks. These were special, but the trip that I will remember most was our 2.5 weeks spent in Argentina. I would like to thank Professor Nunez for giving us that opportunity, for making it happen, and for helping the students prepare and learn what we needed to know to get through it. Thanks to Berkshire Waldorf, I am leaving high school with wonderful memories, a strong foundation, and friends for life. I will be forever grateful for that. Thank you to my incredible family, friends, teachers, and every person who has been with me throughout my time in high school. Thank you.
Hello. I came to Waldorf a third of the way through my freshman year after having experienced a rough start to high school at a different school. I was very shy and nervous to join, even though there were only like 5 kids in the whole school, but I immediately felt at home. The teachers were incredibly supportive and always open to talking, and the students were welcoming and friendly. There are too many people I want to thank for making my experience here so great, but I don't have much time, so I'll mention a few. First, I want to thank my parents for their continuous support throughout my school career. I want to thank Profe for leading the 2 Spanish trips we went on in the last 3 years, one to Argentina and one to Costa Rica. They were some of the best experiences of my life. Sorry. I want to thank Miss Robbins for all of the advice and support she has given me, and for contributing to the possibility for me to graduate a whole year early. Thank you to our teachers for their continued support in my decision to do that. I will miss the school and the memories I made here. And though at first I found it creepy and cult-like, I might actually miss saying the morning verse too, which, to be honest, I only started saying 2 weeks ago, and until the second to last day of school, I thought the line "sentient beast" was extension beasts, but that's... I look forward to continuing on to the next chapter in my life. I will be studying abroad with Northeastern University in Paris, France, starting in August, and then moving to Boston in January. I wish every other graduate good luck in all their endeavors. Thank you, Berkshire Waldorf High School, and thank you all for coming.
Hello, my name is Iris Davis, and I joined our class sophomore year. As an underclassman, I had an outlook that everything was bad. Every new experience I had came with a voice telling me it was all going to go to crap or it was going to be too difficult. So, of course, every new experience ended up too bad or too difficult. I had to realize that if I think it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad. If I think it's going to be good, it may be good or it may be bad, but it won't be as bad as it could have been. I'm so scared about leaving this place, going somewhere new, 6 hours away, alone. This is the first school I've ever gone to where I really feel safe. But life can't happen without change. I've gone to 6 different schools. I moved here from Brooklyn. I've experienced a lot of change. Change is inevitable. I know that if I say, no, I don't want it to change, why can't we just do high school for another year, then the change will be more difficult. But if I say, I had a great time at this school, I will never ever forget it, and now it's time for a change, then the change will be easier. I had a great time at this school. I had a great time with our class. I will never ever forget it, and now it's time for a change. Thank you.
Good morning. As I have sat in these pews for other graduations, tearful and proud, I stand here today. At the time I'm writing this, I'm unsure if I am tearful, but I am beyond proud of my classmates and myself. All of us, especially those who didn't think they could, have risen to the occasion. During our trip to Hermit Island this fall, I was going through a difficult time. It was difficult for me to be fully present on the trip, and I would retreat back into my own thoughts. When you're being woken up by Orrin Riding Sword at 5 a.m. to go look at tide pools, it is difficult to stay immersed in melancholy. There's nothing better at recentering your mind than being focused and submerged in the natural world. Miss Orenstein made this trip magical for us. Finding the little creatures and plants living in the tide pool was like stepping into another world. I forgot that I was freezing cold and that my shoes and socks were soaking wet. I couldn't care less. I became more connected to the natural world than ever, and more connected to my class. Dinner tastes better when it's made by your friends over at Camping Stove in Maine and shared with laughter and the most absurd conversations. I want to thank all my teachers, especially Miss Robbins, Dr. Sagrin, Dr. Broussard, and Miss Orenstein, for caring about my education and for caring about me as a person and allowing me to change and grow. I want to thank all my friends. All of you have impacted me in some way, but I want to say a special thanks to some people who I wouldn't have made it out of high school without. My girlfriend, Athena Wingo, my friends, especially Owen Lamond, Johan Junkins, and Beatrice Martell, my parents, my grandmother, and my sister. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you to everyone who made it today, my friends, my family, and of course, my teachers. I've been in Waldorf almost my entire life. Originally, the only reason my parents sent me to Waldorf was because of the German program, and they wanted me to learn my mother language. But I think we soon realized that Waldorf catered to a lot of needs that most schools didn't, and Waldorf made me feel at home for the past 13 years of my life. And me saying goodbye is definitely harder than I expected. I truly appreciate the bonds and friends I've made along the way, and some of them are so strong that they will last for a lifetime. I've been with this class since the very beginning, and it is hard to say goodbye. I think we are all ready to go our separate ways, and our journeys, hopefully, especially myself, I hope, will go as planned. I'm very thankful to specifically my closest friends, Oscar, Jay, Michael. Thank you for making my high school experience very interesting, I will say that. Especially our famous side quests that we do once in a while. Those are really fun. Thank you all again for making it out tonight, and thank you to my classmates once again. I really hope and wish for you all to succeed in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Hello, friends, families, teachers, and community. I sat down last night at 8:31 and wrote this speech. I was feeling anxious and was putting it off. I'm kind of a procrastinator. My English teachers know this best. Today, I have a strong feeling of accomplishment, but also a lot of fear and uncertainty. I feel like after today, this is the real deal. That's weird. I was struggling to find things to say, so my father suggested that I write a list. That's what I did. Here are some pros that I came up with. Next year, I will go to an exciting new school. I get a fresh start. I'm going to study engineering. There are going to be a lot of new opportunities, cool new people, and with that, a lot of uncertainty and excitement. Cons I came up with. Next year, I will go to a new school. My friends and parents are farther away. No familiarity. No Elm Street. I'm going to really miss my tuna melts. I have to be self-sufficient. Really, really bad thrift stores. I really don't know how I'm going to survive. While I know it's scary, I also understand that this isn't a bad thing. I come from a community of very tight friends, almost too close. They're the kind of friends where you can be having a completely normal day and then suddenly be reminded of something you did in 3rd grade and want to crawl under your desk. But with that, close-knittedness brings a safety net. I feel like no matter how far I go or what happens, this community is always waiting for me. I think a lot of Waldorf kids share this feeling. Sometimes I question if that's purely the product of a small class, but then I'm reminded of how every single one of my peers is such an amazing, caring, kind, loving, forgiving, and hilarious person. I swear other people are just not built the same. We may have a small class, but there was never a dull day, and I'm extremely grateful for the reliability and loyalty of my friends and the dedication of my teachers. Hell, I even love poetry now. Definitely did not see that one coming. Looking back, I don't think I could have done it any other way, and I'll miss you all so much. Thank you for 4 great years.
Hello, everyone. My experience with Steiner is long and storied, from when I first started in first grade and all the way up to now. It's been 12 years on this path, and now it's finally time for me to leave it. I'm excited, of course, but also nostalgic. I'm not very sad, but I'm nostalgic. Waldorf is responsible for many aspects of myself, but I don't quite know if it's in the way they intended. Still, it shaped me into the person I am today. It taught me the basis of art, it showed me the beauty of nature, and it let me learn things I was interested in most of the time. I am so thankful to have been able to learn here. I'd like to thank Jennifer Green for teaching the later years of my middle school so well. I'd like to thank Miss Robbins for encouraging my ramblings. I'd like to thank Profe for always having great classes. I'd like to thank Dr. Bassard for having good hair. I'd like to thank my friend Tosh, who made 11th grade bearable. And I'd like to thank Stephen Sagrin for being an okay principal, I guess, sometimes. And most of all, the most important person I have to thank, besides my mother, who's pretty cool, I guess, is Elm Street and all the employees there for feeding a bunch of unruly high schoolers for 4 years and will continue to for a very long time. Good luck to those guys. I'll miss you all, but only sometimes. Thank you so much for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Owen Lamond. I've been at Waldorf for 12 years, non-consecutively. I went to kindergarten through 8th grade, and then after 8th grade, as if the pandemic wasn't a change enough, I decided I was going to go to public school. And I don't regret it. I mean, it taught me a lot about how to deal with difficult people, but I doubly don't regret coming back to Waldorf for 11th and 12th grade. I think the best way I can sum up my experience with Waldorf is with an analogy of a story from when I was in Germany. We were in Dresden, which is a city that our teacher, Ed, lived in for 20-odd years. Very odd years. And some of us were outside of the hostel. It was pretty late. I had my guitar with me, and I was drinking a beer, which was allowed by the state and the school and my parents, for the record. And I don't know why I did it, probably because I was drinking beer, but I took the beer, and I put my thumb over it, and I turned it upside down, and I turned it right side up, and it sprayed everywhere and made a huge mess. And what was even worse is that there was a group of German strangers at the table next to us, and they saw me with my guitar, and they said, "For the beer fountain, you must play us a song." And I was embarrassed and I was nervous, but they encouraged me, and I did it, and they all loved it, and I had a great conversation with some of them. And it reminded me of my class, in a weird way. I think we have a really uncanny ability to pick each other up when we make mistakes and encourage each other to be better people and to do better things, and we appreciate what each of us has to offer uniquely. I couldn't choose a better group of people that I'd rather be graduating with. So thank you to all of you guys. Thank you to my teachers for the love and compassion and care and thought and time you put into my education, to where I do love coming to school and I do love learning. And of course, thank you to my parents. I don't think I would be half the person I was today if they didn't invest in my education and do research and put me in Waldorf. Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon. I've been in Waldorf education for 16 years. Although there have been drastic changes throughout my life, it has been the one thing that remains the same. I thought about attending other schools, but I am grateful I ended up here. I've had unique opportunities to travel, go on hiking trips, and learn through fieldwork at Hermit Island. I've built a collection of meaningful memories that I hope to hold on to. Here I have learned the importance of a tight-knit community. I've been able to grow alongside lifelong companions, having been with some of my classmates since kindergarten. I remember the first day I met Oliver Gratz Jackson. I walked around the corner of the shed in our kindergarten playground, and there he was in the chicken coop. The first words he said to me were, "I'm a robot, you cannot kill me." I don't know how, but we've been close friends ever since. I want to thank my parents for their continuous support, and I want to thank the teachers for the hard work you've put into giving us an education. Thank you for your life advice, wild stories, and for being more than just teachers to us. Thank you for the unique foundation you've given me. I will continue to build onto it. Thank you.
Dearest classmates, last night, driving home from a class picnic, I concluded that if I kept on driving over the winding hills of the Northeast, I could force time to stand still and today would not come. It was not that I didn't want to be done with high school. I do. It is that I didn't want to have to say goodbye to you. Most of you I have known since I was 8, and it doesn't make sense to me that the time together has felt so long, but also as if yesterday we were playing on the swings in 2nd grade. We've grown up a bit. Instead of arguing about who got out in kickball, we argue about morals and philosophical ideas. You are all funny, honest, passionate, kind, and beautiful. I have never been so comfortable around a group of human beings as I am with you. I am so lucky to have grown up with you and thankful for everything you've taught me. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Anisha. In January 2022, I was in bed in my apartment in Kolkata, in India, down with COVID when I emailed 73 schools asking if they provided free tuition to international students. I wanted to go to an American university, and coming from where I do is not a possibility for international education, so I wanted to come to America to go to an American university. Out of all the schools, Berkshire Waldorf was the only one who got back to me, offering free tuition and a host family to stay with. In fall 2022, I flew 8,000 miles away from home to study the last 2 years of high school. My life transitioned from living in a bustling city in India to living in Sandusfield, also known as the middle of nowhere. That was quite a change. The first day I walked into the school, I felt very comfortable, but also that was the weirdest classroom I've ever walked into, I swear to God. Like, so weird. Kids were like jumping up and down the benches and stuff, and I was like, okay, this is not worth it. But when I changed my mind over the past 2 years, like my school back in India was very strict and rigorous, and teachers used to beat students a lot. It's very normal. But here, like, oh my God. Here it would make national news, but yeah, it was interesting. My classmates were very interesting. But the first day I walked into, I was comfortable but weird. But in the past couple of years, I changed my mind. I had a great liberal arts education and travel experiences at Waldorf, including Argentina, Hermit Island, and Adirondacks. I met amazing people throughout the journey. Thanks to Inger, Sheila, and Jim, and Eileen, and Rose for hosting me. I had great and unique experiences living with each of them. And also thanks to Ms. Robbins, Mr. Sagrin, Mr. Rondemutton, Ms. Steer, Dr. Brazard, Dr. Hamarath, Prof. and Ms. Casey for being amazing teachers. I especially enjoyed the art classes at this school a lot. I remember that one time I drew Mr. Sagrin's face as a vegetable for an art block. That's one of my favorite art projects I ever did. And overall, thanks to Berkshire Waldorf High School for giving me a life-changing opportunity. I'm extremely grateful for everything that this school has brought into my life. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. I would like to share one of my favorite memories from the past 4 years. On our recent trip to the Adirondacks to study astronomy, there was not enough room for all of us to stay in the main house. I was excited to pitch a tent with Michael and Jay. We unpacked Oliver's brand new pop-up tent and laid it out on the ground. We looked at the directions for guidance, and the directions were: unbox tent, unfold tent, and set up tent. Needless to say, it was very difficult. Even Ella, who has a lot of experience setting up tents, couldn't figure it out. We struggled for 45 minutes and then gave up and used Aiden's tent, which actually worked and kept us warm and dry. Anyways, the lesson here is that instead of being stressed out and in a bad mood over something that was not going according to plan, my classmates and I were laughing the whole time and ultimately problem solving in an unexpected way. And this is what I hope for all of you, for all of us in our new lives that we are about to embark on. Thank you to all of my teachers for giving me so many opportunities to learn outside of the classroom. Thank you to my family for all of your love and support. And congratulations, class of 2024. I wish you all the luck in all of your future endeavors.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, teachers, parents, and my fellow graduates. Today is a big milestone in our lives. For many of us, we've been waiting for this moment for a long time. We are feeling excitement as well as a touch of anxiety, or maybe a lot. But we are here today to celebrate the whole of our high school journey and to look forward to the near future. 2 years ago, I came to the school as a junior, excited and not sure what to expect. I've made so many memories and connections here with my classmates and teachers. We have all grown so much during this time and persevered through many challenges to get to this moment. I want to thank all of my teachers and faculty for their unwavering support over the last 2 years. Our parents have also been our constant cheerleaders, encouraging us when we were at our lowest or when we were struggling and getting us to the finish line. Our parents and the faculty have helped us to succeed at the Berkshire Waldorf School all the way to this stage. To my fellow classmates, this is the end of a chapter we know very well, and the beginning of a new adventure for all of us. It's the beginning of our new lives, whether you are going to college or you're still finding your place in life. Success is not based solely upon our good grades and awards. It's the impact that we leave on our peers and the passion we carry with us. As we start this new chapter, remember the lessons we have learned and the friendships we have made. In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, "Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Congratulations, class of 2024, and thank you everyone for coming.
It's a pleasure to introduce the speaker for the class of 2024, Beth Robbins. Beth has taught at our school for the past 20 years. She has taught English, history, drama, including history of language, history of drama, poetry, romantic poets, transcendentalists, Dante, Russian literature, the Odyssey, short stories, American literature, history of revolutions, and world religions. Themes in Beth's seminars often revolve around suffering and freedom. I don't know why people are laughing. Actually, I do. We suffer because we are free. We suffer because we are not free. Our suffering increases the possibility of our freedom. Our freedom requires an ethical commitment to suffering with others. It's all in there. If a student wants to do well in Ms. Robbins' courses, they could inscribe the words freedom and suffering on each page of their notebook and take it from there. Beth has directed the plays for the school for many years as well. She has directed St. Joan, Our Town, Uncle Vanya, Noises Off, Audience, Metamorphoses, Harvey, Arsenic and Old Lace, Blithe Spirit, The Importance of Being Earnest, The Skin of Our Teeth, The Tempest, The Winter's Tale, and The Taming of the Shrew. Beth has 3 master's degrees. She received her MLit and MA from Breadloaf School of English at Middlebury College, spending summers in Vermont and a place that is close to her heart now, Oxford. She also has a master's degree in Waldorf education from Antioch University and a bachelor's degree from Barnard College. Beth published her first book. The title is A Grief Sublime. Highly recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars. In 2019, and she is currently working on her second book, tentatively titled Box of Bones. Beth was the inspiration for and starred in the movie Sproutland, a short film by Academy Award-winning director Cynthia Wade. The film is a fictional reimagining of Beth's first book. Before coming to our school, Beth was a class teacher at the Hawthorne Valley School and the Rose Harmony School, both in Columbia County, and following that, she was an editor at Steiner Books Publishing. Beth is the mother of 3 former Waldorf High School students, Gabrielle, who is a painter, and Ari and Noah, who have incorporated their father's Sproutman business as Sprout Brothers. Beth is clearly a strong woman. I mean that literally. She is devoted to fitness, exercise, and weightlifting. Suffering, lifting weights. Freedom, the physical ease we develop through exercise, right, Beth? After all of this, I am very happy for Beth and sad for the rest of us to tell you that Beth is leaving our school to become Director of Congregational Learning and Engagement at Hevra of Southern Berkshire starting July 1st. We will miss Beth's gifts and talents, her deep mind, and her love of literature and learning. Beth is speaking to the class of 2024 at their request because they love her and she loves them. What more can you ask of a teacher?
Dear Mrs. O'Brien, Dr. Sagarin, colleagues, trustees, students, parents, friends, and graduates, thank you so very much for inviting me to speak today. I am deeply, deeply honored. Dear graduates, it is a joy to stand here and witness this moment and hear your words. We've experienced together a lot over the years. We've read Dante, Emerson, Thoreau, Beowulf, Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, more. We've discussed, debated. You've tried to figure out why all the books studied seem to wrestle with questions of freedom, suffering. We've put on plays. You've written essays, and I've had the honor of meeting many of you at my house and over a cup of tea and supported by my 2 cats, watched you struggling over just the right way to present yourself to anonymous readers at colleges you thought you might like to attend. Now it is your graduation. What can I offer you on this day? I'll start with a word. Liminal. Liminal is defined as a transitional moment, a pause or a resting in a moment not here, not there. It is a term popularized by the Romantic poets in the 19th century. Understood to be the realm of the imaginative, it was the space that allowed the poet John Keats, for example, to be lifted out of himself and into the realm of the other. In a moment of confusion and unknowing, the poet transcended his sorrow and was filled with the song of the nightingale. He was taken on a journey filled with joy and possibility. It is a word you've heard me use before, I think, and it is a word that has been taken up recently by the world at large. I visualize this word as signifying a pause on the edge of a precipice, or as a boundary that you need to cross. It is a threshold moment, full of possibility. Perhaps there is fear, but also hopefully excitement. Step off the edge into this liminal space, and what happens? Imagine your life as a journey. See today as the culmination of the first part of this journey. You've become increasingly capable of finding your way on your own, becoming increasingly less reliant on the guidance of the many Virgils, Dante reference, that have been here for you. I want to frame this speech as a 3-act play, paying homage to Thornton Wilder's Our Town. I realize I am no Thornton Wilder, and this is a speech, not a play. However, I will forge ahead. To help those who don't remember or didn't see the play, Here's a brief synopsis. Our town follows the residents of Grover's Corners through 3 acts: daily life, love and marriage, and death and eternity. Guided by the stage manager, we follow the Webb and Gibbs families as the children grow up, fall in love, marry, and die. Despite the apparent tragedy of the final scene, the play offers hope. It speaks to the importance of all lives as they are lived, and to the importance of every individual. It speaks to the importance of community. Our town is not a star vehicle. It is true that some of the characters speak more than others, but the title of the play speaks to the deeper significance. It is a play about community, and all the members of the community are valuable. The play raises questions of responsibility. How do we deal with our neighbor who might be suffering? Do we try and help? Do we look away and, as Mrs. Gibbs says, pretend not to notice? What really matters? Okay, here we are then. Welcome to my version of Our Town. Act 1, high school, or the past. Think back to your first day of school. Were you worried, excited? To a significant degree, you began high school in a place of unknowing. What would high school be like? What would you learn? And so on. Slowly, you found your guides, your classmates, your teachers, and the courses you took that allowed for a slow orientation and a settling into who you are. I remember the first time I met most of you. It was during the pandemic. We met at this church in the Jonathan Edwards room. You were masked, wearing coats, the fans were turned on, the windows and the doors were open. You sat 3 feet apart from one another, isolated and cold. I remember asking you in our History Through Language course way back in 9th grade what your earliest memories were, and then to think about what was needed in order for you to remember. What is the shift that allows for a movement from an overabundance of indistinguishable sense impressions? Initially, we exist as one with everything and everyone. We lack an ego presence that creates a separation between the self and impressions. We merge with everything, experience a self without boundaries. But there's a moment where you experience yourself as separate. It's as if suddenly there's a line drawn around yourself that separates you from what you see. And this separation allows for memory. This separation is, as you know, necessary, but also it isn't the end of the process. When you learned about ancient Greek drama, I spoke about the Apollonian and the Dionysian. I do that a lot. You learned how Apollo and Dionysus offered paths to initiation. A balanced human being, it was believed, would move between the Apollonian and the Dionysian. The rational, logical, clear-sighted, and objective, and the fertile, volatile, impulsive, subjective. Neither extreme is ideal, really, but a movement between leads to a balanced individual. The Dionysian is the wild, unfettered self that lives in nature. Dionysus is neither good nor evil, but rather is true to his impulses and to himself. Apollo nurtured the objective, rational human being and also allowed for a knowing of the true self, but in precisely the opposite way. I suggest that you can view high school as helping to define yourself, to begin to find balance. Act 2, graduation, or the present. Here we are at this threshold moment. You are a community of individuals, uniquely yourselves, powerful personalities, strong-willed, and opinionated. A polyphonic group. Yes, You are? Okay. I'm glad they knew what that meant. Some of you have been together since kindergarten. Others joined in 9th grade, and still others after that. Some of you are scholars. Others prefer skateboarding. Others are inspired artists. Some love science. Others thrive in all areas. You are artists, athletes, philosophers, academics, musicians, farmers, and more. You are a small community of distinct personalities who have learned to come together as community, who have learned to find the brilliance and uniqueness within the other. In truth, the boundaries that define you are more fluid than might initially have been recognized. And now for Act 3, the future, or stepping off the edge. The unknown. What do you have? What do you need? How is it possible to speak about the unknown? We don't know what the future will bring, either for you as individuals or for the world as a whole. So what is there to say? How do we prepare for the future? I would suggest this. Return to what you know. In other words, start with you. Return to yourself, a breathing in, a settling, and a listening. And this is where inspiration or insight can be found. A balanced life requires a movement that looks like the lemniscate. Symbol for infinity. Picture yourself as the still point. Then you move out into the world, gathering the wisdom there, and then you return to yourself and transform what you have brought with you from outside, digesting it and leaving your own mark on it. When you next step outside into the world, you have something that is yours to offer at the same time that you can receive. Picture life as a breathing, a never-ceasing movement from the inner to the outer and then back again. Or, said differently, a balance between the Apollonian and the Dionysian. Life is, or should be, something immersive. What does that mean? Immersive, defined, means to be submerged, either by one's own action or by that of another. Its origin is from the verb immergere, I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry, from in, and mergere, to dip. So merging is definitely part of its meaning. You remember Walt Whitman. Who need be afraid of the merge? What does he mean by that? What is the merge, and what does all of this have to do with you? To answer, I'd like to speak briefly about whaling, or, to be more specific, Moby Dick. Herman Melville opened his book about the white whale with these words, "Call me Ishmael." This is how the narrator refers to himself. A curious thing about this sentence is that this is likely not the narrator's name. It is rather what he asks to be called. He, in a sense, baptizes himself, and with a name that is the name of an outcast. The biblical Ishmael is the name of the child Abraham had with his wife, Sarah's servant Hagar. Ishmael is the firstborn son of the father of monotheism. The name means the one who hears God, or the one who has been heard by God. There's a fundamental ambiguity here. What is notable about the Ishmael and Melville's work choosing that name? Well, many things, really, but for now, just note this. The biblical Ishmael is banished when Sarah is jealous of this older child once she conceives and gives birth to her son, Isaac. Ishmael sets out in the wilderness and becomes the father of the Arab peoples. He needs to find his own way in an unmarked, unexplored, pathless land. It is dangerous, he is alone, he has to become the leader of himself, and then, eventually, he he becomes the leader of a people. Melville's Ishmael goes to sea to shake off the depression that threatens him. He looks to become part of a community, working toward a goal. He looks to lose himself in the pathless, unmarked that the ocean offers. When he feels lost, he needs to both move with the rhythms of the sea and settle deeper into himself. He climbs the rigging and just is. He climbs the rigging, the wind blows, he has to hold on and let go, both. Be as the sailor, perched high above in the crow's nest, moving with the rhythm of the sea, not falling, not drowning, losing yourself in the immensities, feeling overwhelmed. Hold on and let go, both. What is it about entering the boundless that can allow for a glimpse into the essence of things? Ishmael goes to sea. He looks to lose himself, and in doing so, find meaning. Ishmael attempts to classify the chaos presented by writing about everything, so as to find some way of orienting himself. Life can be described as a voyage, and to understand any one thing, you need to understand it all. But it is precisely by attentiveness to detail that the correspondence to the whole emerges. There is always a thread to hold on to, connecting to all. Recently, we read the Brothers Karamazov. Too much to say about it, but for now, I'd like to remind you of the ending, the epilogue. Alyosha, the youngest of the brothers, has just attended the funeral of the young boy, Ilyusha, and is speaking with a group of Ilyusha's friends, young boys all. Here is what Alyosha says to the sorrowing boys. Let us never forget one another. I give you my word that for my part, I will never forget any one of you. Each face that is looking at me now at this moment, I will remember, be it even after 30 years. You are all dear to me. From now on, I shall keep you in my heart, and I ask you to keep me in your hearts too. Anisha, Ella, Anna Mae, Iris, Aiden, Johan, Owen, Ethan, Cecilia, Jaden, Haley, Oliver, Oscar, Jay, Michael. Congratulations to you. I am grateful to have had the opportunity to know you, to teach you and to learn from you, and to stand here today and be able to acknowledge you in this way. My love and very best wishes go with you as you begin the next part of your journey. You have all you need to move through this liminal moment, the space of unlimited possibility. Take a pause, breathe it all in, allow for a settling, and then off you go. And remember, if you ever need guidance, look around. There will always be a Virgil to reach out and offer a hand. You just need to look. Here's to you. Congratulations.
Zuckerman Hood. Oliver Wellstone Rex Jackson. Johann Vincent Junkins. Haley Grace Kohler. Owen James Lamont. Ethan E. Shi Lin. Ella May Riding Sword. Venetia Saha. Oscar Madden Sinclair Smeraldo. Michael Walker. Graduates, please move your tassels from the right to the left. The class of 2020.
June love's red, red rose has burned and bloomed